Hi, my name is Gerhard Gschwandtner, and welcome to the Sales Up Shop.
Hi, I'm Anthony Iannarino from thesalesblog.com.
Anthony, we have entered an era where everybody is selling. Let's watch this clip.
Well, I think belief in your script is essential. I am a salesman. I come from a long line of traveling salespeople on my mother's side. And I think I'm a good salesman of ideas, songs, melodies, if I believe in them. And the reason I'm on your program, I suppose, today is to sell the idea that people getting out on the streets, getting organized, and fighting to eliminate extreme poverty is working. And that's the mission, because I believe if people understand it and see the successes of it, then they'll do more of it.
Bono is a salesman of ideas. What do you think?
I'll tell you what I like about this right out of the gate. The first thing he says is, I believe in my script. And he knows that he has to say certain words that evoke certain emotions, that produce a certain meaning for individuals to motivate them and get them to move. And he's talking really with Charlie Rose about his philanthropic endeavors. But he says, I'm a salesman. I come from a long line of traveling salespeople, meaning the Irish, and particularly his mom. But he says, I sell songs that I sing and melodies if I believe in them. And how many times have we heard salespeople say something to that effect of, I could sell better if I believed in what I sold? Because we have to, and I think that's part of the script, is you really have to passionately feel that, or else you can't convey that emotion and you can't sell it to the audience.
Well, I think create sales energy. When you look at the numbers, there are still 1 billion people in this world that live on about $1 a day.
That's right, and I read in The Economist maybe 3 or 4 months ago a shocking statistic. There are 30 million people in China who still live in caves, and that's actually live in caves. In a population of 1.3 billion people, and an economy that, if you were to value their currency the same as the United States, would be as big or bigger than our economy. So it is, Bono later goes on to say, I think Desmond Tutu said, it's a man-made problem and men can solve it, and I think that's right. But I think him being the front man and selling it, he's got an audience that's receptive to that. He's got the platform. He does truly believe, and he works very, very hard at it. And I think that's why he can sell this.
Well, I think there's another element, which is that he knows music. He knows how to persuade an audience and create energy that resonates in the audience. And I think that's the essence of selling. Selling is essentially a transfer of energy. And I think that's really what's lacking. That's the rare commodity. Everybody can create energy, but it has to lead somewhere.
And I think that's the leader's job. I mean, he has to sell the vision. The leader, or she, has to sell the mission. There has to be some bigger goal that we're after, that we're pursuing. And that's what the leader sells. They've got to be able to convey that energy.
Well, let's look at another clip.
Who is this 14-year-old boy? And what could he have possibly done at such a young age to be receiving an International Human Rights Award? His name is Craig Kielburger, and his story is a stirring example of what one person can do to fight unfairness and injustice.
Over the past year, I've had the opportunity to travel through 5 countries in South Asia, and I've met many children who are suffering. Children who are living on the streets of some of the world's largest cities. I've met children sold as bonded laborers, working 12 to 16 hours a day in the carpet industry. These children have no vote, no voice, and no political clout. Many of them are subjected to some of the most inhumane forms of exploitation. And today I am here to speak for these children. My friends and I have started an organization called Free the Children, a youth group mainly made up of young people between 10 and 16 years of age. And the purpose of our group is not only to free children from exploitation and abuse, but also to free children from the idea that they are powerless and that they have no role to play in today's society.
Free the children, how may I help you? Craig Kielburger speaking. Oh yeah, we have many projects. For example, today we're just working with our petition we started.
Free the Children sent this 10,000 name petition to world leaders urging them to end unfair child labor practices. And they use every opportunity to speak out against child labor at schools, churches, service groups, anywhere people will listen.
Thoughts on that?
He's a good salesman, and it's an interesting, I think, sales pitch because of the contrast. This is a white, middle-class, privileged kid who's now dedicated at least this part of his life. And my guess is because of the reinforcement of the response from people helping him, it will be a big part of his life. He's able to sell this because the contrast is so great in part, and he's passionate about it. It's an interesting story, and it's an interesting outcome for him as a salesperson. And it looks like he's gaining attention to the problem, and that's the first action that needs to happen in any sale. You need attention, and this little guy, 12 years old, who shouldn't be able to do anything, is creating quite a buzz.
And he has met with world leaders. He has met with the Dalai Lama. He has been on 60 Minutes.
Your Holiness, when I was younger, I struggled a great deal with one of your teachings on compassion. And I used to question whether it was simplistic in the face of such complex challenges in our world, until I realized that we know how to feed everybody, we know how to protect our environment, but often we do not act because we put our own needs and our own wants ahead of the needs and wants of others. So as you teach and as you write, if compassion is the fundamental building block to creating a better world, how do we create a compassionate society?
I think a main factor to bring more conviction, importance of compassion is look at the world. See, many problems, essentially, many of these problems are our own creation.
Yes.
So if we content the present sort of situation, then no need practice for compassion. But if you look, you see the world, I think in every field, I think economy field, a lot of scandals,
Yes.
a lot of unjust. Some are rich, some are poor, and also the political field, repressions, and in some cases, I think the discrimination on color or discrimination on religious belief, discrimination male and female. Nowadays, young student, you see, there are cases, depression, loneliness, and suicide. So it's just something lacking. Then when we look, they look the reality, those people who more compassionate mind, in spite of this environment, these individuals much more happier.
All right, so we have a lot of voices that I'm hearing in this world now where people want to change and they want to contribute to a better world. And when I think about what Mark Benioff has said in a recent speech, philanthropy is the best drug I ever took. And I see more and more companies that are very successful in sales. They're also very successful in being passionate about contributing to the community.
It's interesting. I think as individuals, we feel powerless because we think we can't act on a scale like a Salesforce.com or a Benioff, or you can't act on a scale because you don't have the platform of a Bono. But in fact, you can act individually, and if you can help one person, then you've made some contribution, and you've demonstrated some compassion, and you've made some small difference in the world. And I think that that's really where it starts, is with one individual touching one other individual and helping them.
Anthony, the message that we have here is twofold. One hand, we are all good at selling, but I think selling is not just about earning a living and making a living, but also selling is about making a greater contribution to society. And Bono has made millions of dollars with his songs and created millions of hit records, and he's a superstar. So he's using that star power to sell an idea that he believes in his heart, and he's making a difference in the field of world hunger. And Craig Kielburger, same story. You know, he was moved by the pain that was in his heart when he saw somebody getting murdered because they speak out against child labor. So he picked up the idea and crusaded and persuaded so many people. So my appeal to all the salespeople out watching this, think about how you can harness your energy, your sales acumen, and put it to good use, because it's going to make you feel good.
And you can make a difference for one person. It doesn't have to be on a scale of a Bono. If you make a difference for one person, you've made a contribution.
Great.
Leave us your thoughts and your ideas in the comments. We'd love to hear them.
Awesome.